Rise and shine, it's Entspresso time. Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and successful people don't wake up and go, yes, another day, I'm gonna crush it. No, they wake up just like you and I. The difference is they have habits and routines, like watching one of these videos, that set them up for success. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee, know that I believe in you. And in celebration of my recent one-on-one with Marie Forleo, enjoy this shot of Entspresso from our vault.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
Part of what was also challenging for me when I was starting off as a coach was recognizing the truth that I didn't just want to be a coach. I loved writing, I loved hip hop, I loved dance, I loved fitness. There were all these different things that I was passionate about, and while I was growing my personal coaching practice, I kept feeling conflicted because I didn't want to just be one thing. Has anyone ever felt that way? Yeah. So I would listen to the voices in my head, which were like, and basically the voices in my head were so trained by traditional wisdom and traditional thoughts about you have to pick a niche, you have to narrow down, you have to choose one thing and be good for it, be really good at it, and that's how you'll be known. And when I realized that that voice wasn't the voice I should listen to, that there was this truth, that I was this multi-passionate person, and that living in the present moment, which Eckhart teaches, was all about really listening to your own inner guidance and being in the here and now and not stressing so much up here. That really opened the door for me to say, you know what, screw it. I'm gonna go take dance classes. I'm gonna go learn about this. I'm gonna do all these different things. And that training to be in the moment and to listen to my own inner guidance allowed me to disconnect from all the BS voices in my head that were torturing me. Torturing me.
I live 85% in the present, in the moment, 15% in the future, and 0% in the past. 85% in the present, in the moment, 0% in the past, and 15% in the future. I think it's really important. I think most people's perspectives are messed up. I think most people live in flux between in the past and in the future, and very little time in the present. Think about it. Think about what you're doing today. What am I doing right now? I'm filming this video for you guys. What am I focused on? You guys. What am I doing next? I have no idea. Where did I just come from? No idea. I'm here. I'm here, focused on you, helping make content for you, and hopefully spreading a message that means something today as part of your morning routine. Hey, happy morning. Good morning. Good to be here. Most people are stuck in the past, and you're reliving yesterday and last week and last year and the last decade, thinking about all the mistakes you've made and everything that you did wrong and why you're not good enough and what you would do to go back and tell yourself to do it different, and how you missed some big opportunity and how everything is your parents' fault. How does that serve you? I mean, awareness is great. Even in my book, Built to Serve, we go through the who, why, how process, figuring out who you are, right? Your why, your purpose, which comes from your pain, and then how you got out of it, serves as tools to help you move forward. But it's living in the past just to get the awareness to make better decisions in the present and the future, not just living in the past to live there in the past and sulk and be depressed. People who live in the past are usually upset, they're angry, they're unhappy, they're depressed because life used to be so good and now life sucks. I want to spend zero time living in the past. Did I make mistakes? Sure. Did I learn from them? Yeah. Can I go back and change yesterday? Nope. So I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to think about it. Stop thinking about it. Let's talk about living in the future. Living in the future depends on the source, depends on if it's coming from a good place or a bad place. Most people who are living in the future are doing it from a place of insecurity. What if it doesn't work out? What if I don't make it? All the things that could go wrong, and trying to plan the perfect plan. And so you're a perfectionist because you're worried about people's opinion of what you're going to say and what you're going to do. You're worried that people will see it and judge you. You're worried that people won't see it and that you're not good enough. It's just constantly living in this future fear that maybe happens, maybe doesn't happen, but it prevents action. The more you're living in future fear, it prevents current action. Where it's healthy is to think about what you could build, the possibility, what you want to make, what you want to create. I was talking to somebody on my team, and we were talking about forecasting, and he asked me, where am I going to be in 10 years? Like, I have 10 years. I have no idea where I'm going to be in 10 years. I spend zero time thinking about where I'm going to be in 10 years. Zero time. Zero. There's no way you know. Look at who you used to be 10 years ago. Look at who you were 10 years ago. You. Look at I'm talking to you. Who were you 10 years ago? You have no idea. compared to who you are right now. Like the 10 years ago version of you could not predict with any kind of accuracy that you'd be here 10 years later. With the life that you have, with the education you've gone through, with the experiences that you've created for yourself, with the business that you're in right now, you could not predict that at all. If you can predict where you're going to be in 10 years, you're thinking small because you're confined by a world that currently exists, let alone from a world that's going to be and the one that you're going to help create. You have no idea where you're going to be in 10 years. So future forecasting is great in the sense of, I would love to have this. I want to be a speaker. I want to have a successful YouTube channel. I want to have a best-selling book. Great. But to have specific timelines like this is going to happen in 10 years, no idea. But even then, most people are thinking about the future from that negative spot of a place of lack. And so most people spend their day either living in the past and regretting decisions that they made and wish they could change, or living in the future and being fearful of decisions that they are going to make because they don't want to repeat the same mistakes. So you're stuck in a limbo between regret and fear, regret and fear, regret and fear, regret and fear. And it's no wonder why people don't take any action because you're stuck in regret and fear. The answer is to come back to the present. What am I doing right now? What do I want right now? Who am I going to serve right now? How am I going to help right now? What's the action that I need to take right now? The answer through regret is action. Past regret, if you're sitting thinking about how great the past used to be, the answer is to do something because you're not excited about what you're doing right now. You're bored. You're not excited about what you're doing right now. And so you stay stuck. The answer is action. If you're excited about what you're doing right now and you're taking some kind of action, you're not thinking about the past anymore. Same thing for future fear. If you're afraid of what could be in the future, and that's where you spend your time thinking, it also means you're not taking action. You're not doing anything. The answer is action, to do, to create, and that focuses you back on the present instead of what may happen in the future. It's to get out of your head and to get into the world, to start making, to start doing. Massive action is the cure-all. So how do you now shift from being that person who just thinks and plans and is perfect and thinking of the back and regret and fear and all? How do you start making the shift? It's one moment at a time. You're not going to be perfect. You're not going to be perfect. You're not going to nail it all the time. The battles are won on a micro basis. So what you need to do is anytime you catch yourself drifting backwards or forwards, drifting back into regret, drifting forwards into fear. It's going to happen a lot. It's going to happen subconsciously. This is a pattern that you've run for decades probably. So it's going to keep happening. But anytime you can consciously catch it, you need to train yourself to take some kind of action. Whenever you can consciously, I'm doing it again. Oh, I'm thinking again about that thing that happened 5 years ago. I'm worried again about that thing that's going to happen, that may happen. I'm so fearful that happened. Whenever you can catch it, like I'm doing it again. Shift, action, do something. So start to train yourself. If you want to make this your new pattern, if you want to make this your default pattern, your subconscious pattern, the thing that happens automatically, you have to start to train your subconscious mind. And that starts by changing your conscious mind. So when you catch it, you take action. When you catch it, you take action. When you catch it, take action. Soon enough, you're not going to catch it anymore because it's not happening anymore. Because you've trained yourself that the conscious training has seeped into the subconscious mind. And now you're automatically in the present. You're automatically focused on what you're doing. You're automatically taking immediate action on the things you come up with instead of judging and worrying and being afraid of what might be or again, living in regret of what has happened. It's one of the single biggest shifts that if you make will change your entire life. It'll change how you show up in business. It'll change how you show up in your relationships. It'll change how you show up as a human everywhere. When I'm talking to somebody, I'm with them. I'm talking to you. If we were to meet and we're having a conversation and I'm helping you or coaching you or speaking with you, I'm talking to you. I will quickly lose track of time. I might need to have somebody help me on the calendar. Say, this is where my wife saves me at events. She's like, you've been in the lobby. I mean, you spoke for an hour on stage and you've been in the lobby for the past 7 hours helping people. And to me, it feels like 20 minutes because it's fun and because I'm being present with the people. I'm not thinking about what's next or what I'm doing tomorrow or how good was my speech on stage that I just came from. Like onwards, that shift. Anytime you catch it, you drifting, thinking forwards or thinking backwards, you catch it. You bring it back to the present moment and take some kind of immediate action towards moving closer to your goals. Make that shift. It'll change your life.
Now I've got a special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy, but before that, it's time for the good deed of the day. This is something new. I believe that you're built to serve, and it feels so good to do something nice for somebody else. So good deed of the day, put down in the comments one thing that you need help with, that you're working on, that you'd love some support or guidance on, and then 2, go comment on somebody else's comment and give them some love, give them some support, give them some encouragement, maybe give them some connections, try to help them solve that problem, even if it's saying, I believe in you. That one little bit of encouragement can be the difference between somebody quitting and continuing on. So the good deed of the day, in the comments below, write down one thing that you need help on, that you're struggling with, that you're working on, and then part 2 is go give love to somebody else in the comments too, and let them know that you believe in them as well.
Also, if you want to have more self-confidence and self-belief, the science says it can take up to 254 days of consecutive action for you to shift that habit forward. So I've designed a special free program to help you get more self-belief for every day. For 254 days, I will send you an email to an unlisted video that, if you watch it, will shift your confidence forward. The links to join for free are in the description below.
If you are afraid of disappointing people, if you're afraid that you're not good enough, you may catch that in one area of your life, but as your life gets bigger and as you change, it'll creep in other areas. And one way that those patterns where you don't think you deserve it, or you don't think you're good enough, or you're terrified of disappointing people comes into play is when you start to expect the worst. And so catch it, that's the first step. You can't break your pattern unless you see it. And then you're going to replace it. And what I'm going to start doing is I've got this little app on my watch. You can set it on your phone, where every 3 hours it reminds me to breathe. And I notice the second that the alarm goes off, I've been holding my breath. And so you can set a little alarm in your phone. Megan's laughing. You can set a little alarm in your phone that just says savor. It's a reminder to take a minute. You can make it say take a minute. Take a minute, look around, compliment yourself on what's going right. Because expecting the worst is something you taught yourself to do. Guess what? You can teach yourself to take a minute and to savor what's going right. And the more you force yourself to do it, the more it'll become a habit.
If you want to see the last one-on-one I did with the amazing Marie Forleo, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
Most of us exist in this space of endless comparison, the compare and despair, right? So we have either these idealized versions of ourselves